Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another art conversation with another talented novice artist, she's our guest today. And we are so honored and happy to have her with us today in our show. Our today artist is Silvina Mizrahi, if I pronounce your name correctly. And she's very talented artist. I found a quote from an article that says, her works are fueled by her beliefs in art as a tool that help us to connect, to heal, and to embrace our differences. Very touching and beautiful. So let's see how her art became fuel for us. Welcome to our conversation, Silvina.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Farrin. It's really an honor for me to be here. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for accepting to be our guest today. All right, let's start it. Let's start with you telling us about yourself, your background, and who you are, and how you became an artist.
Yeah, sure. So I born in Argentina, in a small town in the north of Argentina. Since my early age, I really was playing with boxes. So I think that the three-dimensional things was something that always was amazing. So when I was getting gifts, I was playing more with the boxes and doing things with the boxes and sometimes with the gift. So I always knew that I wanted to do something in a way, a kind of sculpture. And then, so when I finished high school, I study at the University of Argentina in Tucumán, in my town. So the degrees in Argentina, the same as in Europe, they are different. So basically my title is Licentiate of Fine Arts. So it's a 5 years program where you basically you try everything. So you try paintings, sculpture, and engraving, and besides that, you do theory of art, history, philosophy. So it's really a complete career. And the last years of your degree, you need to decide if you want to pursue painting, engraving, or sculpture. So even though at the beginning I decided for painting and sculpture, it was really like a very long day because you needed to stay in the studio for 4 hours in the morning for painting, and then 4 hours in the studio in the afternoon for sculpture, and in the middle do the theory, plus I was working. So I decided, I think I was gonna do sculpture, that is that I always wanted, and maybe in the future I will decide to do some painting. Yeah, so this is how I started. I finished in my town, and then I moved to Buenos Aires to study with 2 masters in sculptures. One is Antonio Daniello, and the other is an Italian sculptor that was very well known at this moment, that is Antonio Puglia. And from there, I moved to Israel, where I was invited to show my sculptures in different galleries and museums there. And from there, I moved to Boston. So this is in a very simple way my journey. But yes. So
yeah, very adventurous kind of journey, which is very interesting. And I like the idea of that 5 years study, and almost you handed everything, you know. That's one of the reasons you are multidisciplinary artist, and then almost, you know, little bit of everything, which is
so I am very grateful. I think the university in Argentina is free, and you have this possibility, and after I was working for 20 years here at the Museum of Fine Art, and I realized how prepared I was to when I was looking at the paintings in the museum, paintings that I saw in slides when I was studying in Argentina, but how well prepared I was in history of art, in philosophy. So yeah, so I think was a great education.
Yeah. So what art do you today most identify with?
Well, this is a very difficult question. So I think what I feel that I am more expressionist. I am not a person who, when I do my paintings or my sculptures, I don't need to look at the model. So basically I work with the memories and the feelings that I have about this object that I want to represent. Mm-hmm. I think in my sculptures, definitely I am figurative. So my sculptures in all the different materials, they are figuratives. And I think in my mixed media paintings, I am more abstract. So even though sometimes the human figures are part of the paintings, but I think that they are more related with colors and shapes, and they are more abstract than the sculptures.
So I know you work with different medium and technique. Would you please first explain what medium and technique you experiment with? And also, are you, do you have any, like, you know, do you decide, like, for example, for this technique, for this medium, I want to make sculpture, or for this medium or this technique, I want to do painting? Is that something you choose, you know, different, when you, for example, when you have a concept in your mind, mm-hmm. Are you, based on the technique you want to use, decided that's going to be a painting or a sculpture, or it's just some experiment, you try this one, and then if you don't like it, go to different?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so this is also, it's very interesting. So sometimes I have an idea and I know that the different techniques in sculptures, and I will gonna explain you a little bit more about these ones, they have, each one, they have their beauty and their limitations. So yes, so sometimes I feel that I want to work in wax to make these sculptures at the end be cast in bronze. Sometimes I recycle things from the house. It make me want to do a sculpture, so I need to use a way to weld the pieces together instead of using the wax to cast in bronze. Okay. And sometimes I feel that I want to be in the bidimensional way, even adding the things, so I choose for the paintings. So when I decide to do the sculptures, the technique is a very ancient technique that is called the lost wax technique. So basically what allowed this technique that I really enjoy it is the possibility to add organic materials. So when you see, and for example, in the sculpture that you are showing now, the dress of the sculpture is from a cloth that they use in Argentina to clean kitchens and things, but it's made out of cotton. So I was able to use it to make the dress. And the umbrella is this one that you have in the cocktails that is made out of paper that you can really immerse in wax, and you then are able to cast it. So yeah. I have sculptures with orange peels that I love it. After I finish my orange, I just use the orange peel. I have sculptures that they have some twigs, some even doily as a part of the sculptures. So this is what I love from the lost wax technique. But the process it's really beautiful. The thing is, to cast a piece in bronze it's a kind of expensive. So it's sometimes even though I want to cast many pieces, so I need to just wait and have the pieces in wax and see when I decide to cast the pieces in bronze. Yeah. From the sculptures that they are made of recycle is much easier. So I not always I was using the welding technique to do it. So I was using some kind of glue to add the things together. And with the paintings, yeah, the same. I use acrylic paint, and then everything that is coming on the mail and this like this paper, the flags and stamps and things, I just add it to the painting. So I have fun with this.
Yeah, and I'm sure they are very time consuming, right? The piece like this, for example, in bronze, because of process and time wise. Is that something you casted yourself, or you taking your work to different places, different studio? Do you have all your tools and equipment yourself?
No, so definitely it's a very complex process the ones to cast a piece in bronze. So I am very lucky that I have in Boston a foundry that is called Sincere Foundry, that they really cast amazingly my piece. So basically what I do is I bring the pieces in wax there, and then after they cast the piece, I go for the final step, that is choose the patina and then add the element. In this case, that was the wheel and the base. So basically, I am there for the last step. But all the process to cast the piece in bronze, it's done at the foundry. So yeah.
Yeah. So, and I know in an article when I was reading, it said you study dance, and
Yeah.
often that one of your inspiration is dance movement. So, would you please explain about this dance and inspiration in your work and what we see? I mean, I see the movement and I see dance movement.
Well, definitely is something that I can explain you. So the things that happen is that when I was almost done with the university in Argentina, I said, I really want to be a dancer. But I was not 4 years old, I was not 5, I was not 7, I was 20. So even though I was thinking that I was old to start, I said, I definitely something that I really want to try. So when I moved to Buenos Aires, in parallel with working with these sculptors, this master, Antonio Danielo and Antonio Pujia, and I was teaching in a school art, I said I really want to, Buenos Aires was the center, so it was the musicals in Buenos Aires, and they were teachers from all over the world teaching there. So I said I really want to try. So I was doing belly dancing, I was doing tap, I was doing classical, I was doing music, I was doing all different kind of dance and I was doing modern dance. And I really, really enjoy it. But, and then at some point I went to New York, and I went to the Martha Graham studio and to Alvin Ailey, and I was taking classes everywhere. But the thing is to compete for musicals with girls that they start with the classics since they are 5 years old. It was really impossible.
Yeah.
So I was enjoying a lot the classes, but I didn't was enjoying the auditions and all this kind of waiting in there and see what's happened, and basically knowing that I had these limitations. So at some point I said, I think I really enjoy it, but I will gonna keep doing the art and the things. So I think that the amazing things about how to learn about the movements of the body and to feel the movement and to enjoy the music and the movement is something that I think I have it now in my sculptures. It was not my intention, basically. I didn't say that because I was not doing dance, I was gonna do sculpture. So, but I think that at some point, this knowledge and this joy of be able to dance was moved to the sculptures in some way.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure now you very pretty much achieve it by entertaining, with your sculpture as well as your dance. So I'm sure you are one of the people which is really pleased to be around, right?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, at the end I said, well, in Argentina is a phrase that they said, nothing's go to an empty sack. I don't know how is really the translation, but I think at the end, all the things that you try at some point, they merge in one way or another.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't see it at the moment that I said that's it with dance. I was really sad. I really said, why is this maybe my next life? But,
well, you're doing it, this is your work now, and you can see exactly all the detail in dance movement. So beside dance, what else inspire you for your artwork? How you get concept?
Yeah, so this is, as I said, when I finished my degree and I started just doing plain sculpture, so everything was related with dance and movement. But then when I moved to Boston and I started getting these white winters that they were very challenge for me and they were very new for me, I said I need to have some color. So I need to add some color. Most of the sculptures in bronze, you don't have the chance to color them. And actually, I like it in the way they are, the bronze. But they say I need to cheer me up with some colors. So I started taking classes that they were teaching me how to add three-dimensional elements to the painting. And I start painting and adding these amount of colors that you can see, for example, in this painting that is the journey, so the colors there. So I think was an instinct. So I said, maybe because I needed to cheer me up, I started with these colors. But then the topic of my work was shifted. So I think I started getting paintings related with the journey and this idea that you move from one place to another and what is really your place now. So when I am in Argentina, I miss Boston. When I am in Boston, I miss Argentina. Yeah. And this kind of idea of an immigrant and then with everything that happened in the last years with the immigrant and the thing, these themes, they started coming to my work, but as I said, I never was trying to represent them. So I think that the reality and that I was immersed was moving into my work in this special way. So my work was never a political art, so I never was kind of things. But then things that was happening, and I was reading and I was working for some organizations with the immigrants and some things, that they started to come into my work in some way.
Yeah, I mean, that's a natural thing. I mean, it's natural even if you want it or you don't want it.
Yes.
Environment affects you, and what's happening around you. And this is actually, to be honest, with every artist who lived somewhere and later on lived half of their life somewhere, half of somewhere else, they have this same kind of feeling. And I see the pattern almost in all those artists, and myself included.
Yeah.
And also about the color also, I mean, when you read or study history of color, you see color started exactly based on this, when you are in environmental effect on it, which is they bring that color, the coolness of winter, the freshness of spring.
Yes, definitely. And I must say, it's nothing more beautiful than the autumn here. So I never experienced an autumn like the ones in Boston. Yeah. So this is really something that happened. And in the other hand, so as mentioned, the painting that you have now. So also with this idea to be here and with COVID that I was working in my studio, but without much interaction. So I started really going deep into my roots. So from my father's side, my grandparents came from Izmir, and from Izmir to Argentina. So they are Sephardic Jews. And always I was like, I was really lucky to grow with my grandparents around, really. So all these songs that I was hearing from my grandmother and all these phrases in Ladino and all this food and the things, they start coming into my paintings too. So this last series that is called Sefarad, that is in Spain, also it came with this idea of also immigrants. So they moved from Spain to Izmir and from Izmir to Argentina, and they were speaking the same language that 500 years ago they were speaking the ancestors in Spain. So I think this also came into my most recent series of paintings.
Yeah. And then when you said mixed media, what exactly medium and what type of material you use?
Yes, so when I say mixed media, is because besides the acrylic paint that you can see it in the paintings, I use all kind of sometimes I use pipe cleaners, sometimes I use maps, sometimes I use pompons, sometimes I use as I said, different the old CDs that I have that I painted on top. So it's most of my, even though in the pictures they look like a painting, but if you see the paintings in real, they are kind of 3D. They have texture, they have something more than just the painting. So I think this idea of this, how I was trained as a sculptor, came into my painting, so I can do it flat. I always need to have like something that you are able to touch or to feel the three-dimensional things, so even in the paintings. So
wonderful. And I know you are really I check your website. I'm gonna actually play in your website in a second. You are big in public art. Why and what actually kind of push you and attract you to public art? This,
yes. So definitely been here, and many things I think that they were changing, and at some point. And also working at the museum, so I said I really was. I was trying. In Argentina they didn't train to do public art, so I was trained to sculptures and paintings, but was not something that you learn to do it in the university. And in the last years I was amazed with this idea that, and also especially also with COVID, that the street that where you are, they can be a place where the people from your neighborhood can enjoy to see art. So now move the art more to the places where the people live and just interact with them. So I started applying to different projects, and I was lucky to be selected to paint it. Some doors from a bike trail in Boston that they were inviting the people during COVID to just do some exercise. So they go outdoors. And also the idea of taking care of the environment. So the piece that you see here was part of a jury show to create pieces related with air and how important, and also it's set in a forest, where in Concord, where the people go and walk there. So I was fascinated by the idea that the pieces can be there. Yeah. So this is how I started to apply to this kind of type of art and see how it's work. And it's a complete.
It's more public. It's COVID somehow.
Yes, yes.
That's true. I know. I always mention it. This is terrible. COVID is a terrible thing, but the benefit of it bring people together, right?
Exactly, and not just that. The thing that you can feel that you can get connected and you can still do things with other people and bring your art and in a different way. So we are learning in a different way, but I think I think that they have these benefits that also bring art to the places where the people are, because everybody was in their neighborhoods, looking through the windows. So why don't bring art to these places too? So, exactly. So I think we can get this positive part of this.
Yeah. So, and then this is actually, I say, we actually, it's really appropriate for this week because we are in Hanukkah, and then the time of that's the time of year. And I see this piece, which is, I thought, oh, how wonderful. Would you explain about this commission and what was this project about?
Yes, so definitely. So this is in 2008, the Museum of Fine Art commissioned me to do a Hanukkah menorah for the celebration of Hanukkah. So it was, before COVID, was a big, huge celebration at the Museum of Fine Art. More than 4,000 people were attended to this event. So they were all different kinds of events during the year, celebrating different holidays from different religions, but especially for Hanukkah. So I had the pleasure to work with John Clark, that is the owner of El Diablo Glass. So he was the one who did these beautiful glasses that they are on the top of the flame. And yeah, and the idea was to remember the title was Ness and was Miracle, and the idea was to remember the temple that was destroyed with the candles, and also the hope of light through the flames of glass that they were turning around, and every day they were turning another one like a candle.
Yeah, I mean, I have a video here, which would be good to play just
Sure.
a second of it, maybe, if I can play it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can see kind of better.
Blessings and never light
the
So this is the same commission, right?
This is the opening date of of Hanukkah. Yeah, and the rabbi is doing the blessings, and after the blessings, you turn the lights of the menorah.
Yeah.
But now it's now later.
And so unfortunately, we don't have time to to play all of it, but you have some of this beautiful work of you in your website too, which is, if anyone interested, they can see. And I'm sure there are other videos too in your website, which is very organized and nicely. And
thank you.
to navigate, right? There's some websites that are quite difficult, but your website, I found it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well,
we have actually a series which is we didn't talk much about the recycle world, which is you have it in your website, and they are very interesting to see how you use the material and create this beautiful recycle world. And this is another, I believe, a public project, right?
Yes.
You engaged with people in somehow, and people were able to add some pieces to this work, right?
Yeah, so definitely this that you mentioned at the beginning, that really art is a tool to help us embrace our difference and to heal us and to connect us. I think definitely this project is related with that. So I was invited to be the artist represented at the Mass General Hospital for the Spanish Heritage Month. So besides the paintings that they were exposed, that they are in an exhibition in the hospital, they invite me to create a community project. So basically, it's a very long painting, mixed media, that they have some mountains and a girl with a kite. And the idea was, and it was placed in a very public place inside the hospital next to the gift shop. So everybody was walking through this area in a long corridor. And the people were invited to have this post-it in the shape of butterflies and to express their feelings and something that they are grateful, something that they want to mention, something that they make them happy, something that they want to bring. And it was really, really a very touching experience, because they were nurses, they were doctors, they were people just walking and visiting friends in the hospital. And the people really wants to talk. They really wanted to participate. So for me, it was something new. I didn't know what to expect. We said we were going to try it and we were going to see how the things goes. And it was really definitely something that we need to add more to the hospital. So I think it's great to bring, definitely we have some hospital that they bring art, but this idea that also bring a piece where the people can participate and they feel that the piece that they create, they are part of the whole. I think was, as I said, I think was really, I'm grateful and honored to be able to do it, to be able to do it there, that they allow us to do it, because it's something also new and And it was really nice for the people, as I said, and people that they were speaking even in Spanish or in another language, they write it in their own language. So was this ideals, no, like really embrace our difference and be able to be part of the
Part of one.
whole.
Yeah, and kind of unify us together. So this bringing people together, which is very interesting in your public art. I mean, it's, unfortunately, we don't have much time. Otherwise, I would love to see more of your beautiful work, and which is all, as you said, it's kind of healing, and that's something everyone can understand them, and everyone can somehow relate their life and their interest in your work. So if anyone wants to reach out to you, these are Silvina's contact information. Silvina, do you have any last word before we end our today's conversation?
No, well, first, I really want to thank you for this opportunity. So as I said, I'm really honored and grateful to be part and to be able to express, and also to say that art is the highest form of hope. So keep keep doing it and keep, believe it in art. So I think we need it. We need it every day.
Yeah, and keep up the journey. That's what life is, a journey. To bring us together and to celebrate our life and to celebrate each other. Thank you very much, Silvina. I really appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.